Hello, what's up y'all? It's Bodyguard. Today I'm going to be teaching y'all how to do fuel injectors on your 05 to 2010 Ford Mustang V6. So a few things you're going to need. First, you're going to need some sort of thing to spray air. Second, you're going to need protection. So I have 2 rubber gloves and I got a pair of sunglasses. Please get eye protection, proper eye protection, because fuel can get into your eyes. Third, I recommend a microfiber towel because when you take the fuel rail off, you want to wipe around there, get the fuel out.
You need a rubber mount to tap in the O-rings.
If you don't have O-rings with your fuel injectors, you need O-rings. Get O-rings. Depends on what year of car you have. If you have from an 05 to 09 Ford Mustang, there's a fuse. It's fuse number 41. It's a 15 amp mini fuse. You just pull that out. But my car is a 2010. So it is the facelifted version. I asked my mechanic what I should do. And he said you should let the pressure out of the fuel tank and not run it. So it hasn't been ran, been a full day. Alright, and if you have a 2010, you're going to need a pair of scissors because the gas cap is a little annoying. I have 2 pairs of pliers. I have a needle nose and I have these larger ones. This is going to be for undoing a clip or clips. You're also going to need some markers. You're going to need to take the ignition coils off. Not the spark plug, but the top part. The fuel rail, you can see it. It's right here, and so this is in the way. So I'm using a permanent red Sharpie. Next, recommend screwdrivers. I recommend a flat and a Phillips head. I don't really know if you need a Phillips head, but I know you need a flat head. This is both. But the most important things that you're going to need, T30. You're going to need also a 10 millimeter, an 8 millimeter, and a 15 millimeter.
Get a file just in case you need to file down the O-rings. You're also going to need extended sockets and universal joints. Don't forget a magnet just in case you drop any bolts. Get a breaker bar just in case you need it. Make sure everything you take off you record yourself doing it so that you can put it back together properly.
You don't want to have any fuel, so don't run it for a day. You can see, I think, yeah, you can see it. There's 2 little tabs, one here, one here. Alright, so you're going to spread these open, right? Carefully, get them aligned. Spread them open, push that in, and you got to spread them, right? Have both of them in, and then voila. Also, for your O-rings, they should look something like this. Right here, they should have a blue top and a red, I think that's orange. Red, orange is bottom. Don't, just ignore this little orange thing here. That's just there. I don't know why, it's just there. Please do not cheap out on fuel injectors. PJVMVO. I don't know who these are. I don't know where I got them. You're going to come in right by here. Right here, there's going to be some bolts. You're not going to touch these. There's a connector right here, right? You're going to just you're just going to take this off. Use a flat head, wiggle the gray part, and just pull her off. Next, y'all going to have to take this off. It's on the same part here. I had to use my fingernail on a flat head to get this thing off. I don't want to disconnect your fuel injectors. So this is a better angle. If there's a little piece of plastic, it's a little plastic tab, if you can see it. So see the wire, there's a plastic tab. You want to push that in and pull it out. This is where the needle nose pliers come into handy.
Make sure you mark the first 3 ignition coils before taking them off because you may forget the firing order of them.
Now we take these off. To get this off, we got to pop the front 3 off. So mark them very well. I got 1, 2, 3. We're not pulling them out the hole here. We're just taking them off the top. So I got 1, 2, 3. Don't worry. I got them on the plug too. You want to take this part off. Now I tried popping the little 3 Panama bobber, but it just pulled out. So also, I got all my bolts in a bag with the sockets I used. Make sure you're using the shorter sockets. Don't want to use these longer ones because you will not be able to reach them both on the bottom. Trust me. She's gone. We moved her. So it's 4 bolts, 2 8 millimeters, which are towards the top. You can see right here, 8 millimeter, 8 millimeter. Down there's a 10 millimeter on the left and a 15 millimeter on the right. You gotta unplug this. This is at the back of it. It's a little tab you push up right here. Push this up with a little screwdriver and then just wiggle her until she comes off. Also there's this, so it connects like this, and just want to use a flat head, same thing. This is the top, right? So you put a flat head right there, pop her up, pull her out. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. Then you're going to finally come in here. There's your 3rd thing you need to pull out. this tool, so this hooks onto your ratchet, which is like an autistic breaker bar. There's two 10 millimeter bolts. There's one right there, and then there's one behind. It's like a little tricky, but you see the, you can leave this here. You need some sort of extension, and you need a universal joint. So now what you're going to want to do is come to the front here, the fuel rail, and you're going to see it's one at the top and one at the bottom. Those are the T30 Torx bits. I'm going to use a smaller ratchet, but you're probably going to need an extension because you got this here. And it's the same thing for the other side. Now what you're going to want to do is wiggle this, and you're going to pop it off, because make sure there's a blue ring on there, because there should be one. And then should be ready to just yank the whole fuel rail off. Make sure there's nothing else connected, and make sure you're wearing eye protection and hand protection. Side of the engine, you could just pull this out completely, because it will be in the way of the fuel rail. So now that you have yours off, make sure you put it somewhere safe. And just in case you took both of them off, remember this. The one on the right side has this clip here. The one on the left side does not have this little clipping mechanism there. Once you take your fuel rails off, you're going to want to pop your injectors out and pop them all out. And don't throw them out. Don't throw them out. Because the little orange ring at the bottom of it, you may need to reuse. And once that's done, you want to take the O-rings out. So the O-rings are in the engine. I'm going to show this video. Be very careful when you're doing it, and you want to use a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, or you could use the rubber mallet. Just be very careful. Tap down, go all the way to the bottom of it, and then pry it up. I couldn't do that. Try to tap them down, go down, make a line on them, and then just, all you got to do is just break them loose, and you can pull them up. And then once you're done, take air and spray it in the hole. Spray it in the hole so there's no debris, no little pieces of rubber that are going to get stuck in your fuel area there. Because once you've done that, now what you're going to want to do is take your O-rings, the new ones you bought, take your new ones, and you put them in. Line them up properly and hammer them. See if they go in. They may or may not go in. Make sure they're lubricated. You want to spray a little starter fluid on them, just a little bit. Try to tap them in. If they don't go in, don't force them. Take the file like I was talking about and just go around, just file gently around the outside. Get it so it's a little rubbery. Then clean the debris off to the best of your ability. Just go like this or something. Spray some starter fluid on there, and then try tapping it back in. And it may take a little tap, some adjusting. Make sure you're using the longer 15 millimeter socket so it goes in and you don't have any problems.
Make sure you use the bottom side of the 15 millimeter socket to tap it in. And also, don't forget, it should look something like this, where it's not flush, but just slightly pushed down more.
Put the fuel injectors in. So you're going to take the fuel injector. Make sure you take that. Make sure it's just an orange ring at the bottom and a blue ring at the top with the little clip. Make sure the clip is facing the valve cover, because that's where your clip is going to be. And it should just pop right in. If it doesn't pop in, orange rings from the old fuel injectors and pop them on the new ones. Now that you got your fuel injectors in, before you do anything, clip them in. Do the little clips. Just clip the little things on. Make sure they're all clipped in. Time to put your fuel rail back on. Now your fuel rail has you have the blue things at the top of the fuel injectors. That's a gasket that is meant to connect to your fuel line right there. So just same thing. Put a little bit of starter fluid on there, and then pop them all on. And then you come over here, spray a little more fluid, but instead of on the pipe, it's sprayed on this part right here. So then it'll just pop right in. Now this, I will admit, is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get the T30 Torx bits in. The only thing I could give is always start by screwing in the top bolt, because the top bolt's usually going to be the biggest pain in the you-know-what. Start by screwing in the top bolt, and once that's in, not all the way, just get it hand tightened. Get it like slightly tight, and then do the bottom one. Realign the bottom, and just do that for both sides. Two 10 millimeter bolts, you want to tighten them both. Just in case, God forbid. I had to do it on the left one here, this one right here. If your bolt will not go in and just like strip, take some copper wire, strip it to bare copper, wrap it around the bolt, and because of the softness of copper, you could just screw the bolt right in.
So here's what you do to put the bracket back on. You screw in at the bottom a 10 millimeter on the left and a 15 millimeter on the right, and at the top you got two 8 millimeters that screw into the intake. Don't forget to pop the ignition coil wire holder on the side of the ignition coil bracket. Plug the ignition coil bracket back in. Don't forget to plug this little plug in too. Plug the ignition coils back in the exact way they came off using the markings that you put on in the beginning. Clear the check engine light if it came on. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.